You're listening to Startup Recruitment Failures. Behind every successful founder lies a tale of recruitment ups and downs. Join me on this thrilling journey and learn firsthand from top leaders on how to navigate through challenges and stay ahead of the game. We all make mistakes, but the real growth happens when we learn from them early on. Hello, Alex. Thank you for being here today.
Hey, nice to hear you.
So for those who don't know who Alex is, so he is founder at CTO at Joiner App. And Alex is a serial entrepreneur. He founded startups in gambling, real estate, marketing, and prop tech fields. So Alex, please tell us more about the Joiner app.
Yep. Hey, Indra, one more time. Yeah, about the Joiner. Actually, that's a startup in the. It's a mobile application. First of all, that's a social networks about the events. I believe that that's a next gen social app. What I mean that we are talking and we are pushing to talk about not about the past, how all the social networks actually do right now, but about the future. People can see what other people invent to do, want to do, or create their own events. And measure other people not by just photos, but actually by activities. That's really important. So yeah, our app nowadays answering the two essential questions: what to do today, tomorrow, next week, or with whom to do. Yeah, and we launched
Nice.
here in Vilnius this year, and we already acquired some first users with really nice feedbacks.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I think this is really something extraordinary when it comes to social apps. So I wish you best of luck and to grow fast. And so, talking about the recruitment failures, right? Having all this experience, what would be the most important cases you had in your experience you would like to share with other founders or recruitment managers?
Well, first of all, what would I share with all the new startup founders who eager to create something own? That the hardest thing in a startup is that you constantly have to deal with the new technologies that you haven't worked with before. That's important because you every week you can have like a small new feature or even pivot using new technology, and you should understand the basics, the ground of the old technologies. And therefore, it's difficult for you to evaluate the specialist, right? Because you don't know deeply the technology. So you need to focus on your values and understanding for both people in general and how technology processor works, from the grounding. So yeah, first of all, that's really important stuff. Yeah, we can talk about some examples, or
Yeah, that would be great if you could
yeah, I
share.
can share. So actually, from the beginning, it was a big challenge for me as for CTO because we choose like we had to build as well as backend and front end. So I was quite good in backend technologies. I know a lot of them. So we chose one, and I could evaluate, the backend. So my previous experience was connected with the backend technologies. But regarding the front end, especially in mobile apps, okay, I was familiar with web development, but not with the mobile, and that was a challenge. So there was a two main, how to say, lines what I follow. First, that's I evaluate the person. Yeah, that's intuition. That's how he behave, how he answer the question, how he can handle the stress. And there is a really interesting, not mine, but idea or strategy that that when you hire the person, you put the mark in your calendar in a month. And after months passes, you should decide if you had the chance to hire him, from the scratch, from the beginning. Would you do it right now after you know all the details after and if the answer if is no, that's an answer. You should fire and hire again. Yeah, that's the first
Mm-hmm.
strategy. The second, actually, what helped me a lot, if I don't know the tech stack technology, that's not problem. I am just hiring 2 or 3 independent consultants who is really good in their field. Okay, I will pay them, for amount like for 5 hours each, for 3 hours, for 2 hours. And but if we compare this money for the money what we could save if we will use wrong technology, for instance, that's nothing. So and actually that saved us. Yeah. So that's 2 examples. I mean, in general, about the approach from the very beginning.
I see. And could you share the situation when you made a wrong guess and the wrong hire?
Oh, well, actually, yeah, actually, I had few, and the most interesting case was about that when last year we decided to expand,
Mm-hmm.
and actually we had like we bootstrapped a lot, so we had one front end developer. He was quite good, but still only one. We decided let's expand and let's hire more. So the first and the most obvious decision was okay, let's hire another star, two
Mm-hmm.
stars instead of one. So the speed will be my velocity will be at least two x, right? I'm not about talking about the synergy, but the velocity should be much more faster. So that's a basic assumption, but I was wrong. Because if there are two
Mm-hmm.
brilliants, two really nice and guys with the leadership skills, instead of working sometimes with each other, they're starting to to argue with each other, fight for our attention. Definitely, they had two different approaches, and two approaches, could exist. It's not meaning that they are wrong, but two approaches. And we spent like 2 or 3 weeks solving all their arguments, solving all these issues, so solving their soft skills and communication. And after that, I realized, okay, maybe we should just get rid of one of them, leave one star, and hire just more implementators, right?
Do you think that was because of the level or just personality
Both,
mismatch?
actually, that's both. But usually, we know that in any field, the higher person is, that the higher level he has, the more ego he has because he knows more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he knows that a lot of people are wrong and he's right. So that's
Mm-hmm.
somehow always bounded. Also, there could be like different situation, but we had this one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so, what kind of the arguments they had? So you said you had to help them to find the common ground for the 2 3 weeks. What kind of the situations and arguments were there?
That's also really it's hard to determine who is wrong and who is right because they're starting to argue and to telling the arguments about the technology. We should use this architecture. Another guy telling no, 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 we should make that faster and use some workaround. And if you're not deeply inside this technology, and it was front end, not my strongest part,
Mm-hmm.
is damn, that's hard to evaluate. So it's hard to choose who's right, and yeah, it should be more about intuition, about the personality, and just eventually choose one who is more capable to lead the team.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So they both were not just experienced developers, but also team leads.
Yeah, yeah, and they wanted to be a team leads in this team, and they decided that maybe they should fight for this role,
Mm-hmm.
and not fight, but you understand, yeah, to show their best and
Compete.
show that
Yeah.
their approach is better. And probably there are situations, there are the companies when it could work. The big company, corporation, you said the few departments or the few teams, few Scrum teams, and each started to compete with another. That's good. That's my
Mm-hmm.
approach in a big company. But in a startup, you can't afford this. You have a
Mm,
small
yeah,
team. This team should work on the product in very smart and lean way.
makes sense. Makes
Right.
sense. And who did you decided to fire, the first or the second employee?
Well, I can say what first or second, but it will say nothing to you. You don't know who is the first or second. Yeah.
No, I mean, did the first one state or the second one prove that they're more suitable for this
Well,
role? Like, it's very hard
it's
decision, right?
super
If
hard
you
decision.
hire
It's super
two
hard
stars,
decision.
how did you decide?
So I just decide by the personality, by the ability to communicate, and most about the history. So the first was had more history in our company, and the second was kind of
Mhm.
a novice, just the green one. I mean, he was a great developer, but just new in our company. So it was honest decision, I believe, to leave the guy who we already work with and know
Hmm.
how to
So
communicate.
loyalty,
Loyal, yeah, and
loyalty
that's
won.
I think that's fair enough. Yeah, probably when we will be
Okay.
bigger, and we definitely will be bigger, I will call the second guy again and say, "Hey, do you wanna lead the second team?" Because he was good.
Okay. Okay. So you managed to close the situation in a nice
Yeah, of
manner.
course, of course. So my approach is often to be transparent. So I try to explain the situation. Guys, just to try to watch through my eyes,
Hmm.
and you see. So people understand if you transparent, honest, and describe the situation from any other different angles.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay, great. Jobrely now offers full cycle recruitment services, from creating a job ad to presenting shortlisted candidates after initial interviews. Fill out the project brief, and candidate profiles will be sourced for you. Connect your LinkedIn account, and a personalized messaging sequence will be sent from your LinkedIn account to all of the potential candidates. And after initial interviews, a comprehensive scorecard of shortlisted candidates will be presented. Visit jobrely.com and start a free trial. Great. And so you also said that you had some challenges hiring marketing people at Joiner App.
Well, yeah. So at that moment, I wasn't in marketing. So I should explain that in a startups like ours, yeah, I am a CTO, but sometimes I'm taking another roles. And
Mhm.
sometimes I have a big expertise in marketing, so I'm kind of consult in marketing. Sometimes I can bring coffee to the meeting. I have expertise in this as well. Yeah. So yeah, and the problem was that first we hired the marketers. They were, again, it was a good specialist. They were good, but only after that we started to figure it out which specialist do we need, what
Mhm.
areas we should develop, because again, in big corporation you need in the same.
You mean the marketing
Yeah,
channels?
marketing channel, marketing approach, marketing strategies. Because in a big companies, you should have a brand awareness through the YouTube. You should develop your social media. You should have acquisition through the leads, meta ads, or even the offline.
Mhm.
But in a startup, usually your capacity and resources are limited, obviously, and you should choose one really good channel. So
Mhm.
yeah, first we hired the really good guys who lead the social media and some other channels. But after a few weeks, we realized, or maybe a month, that the best working channels are different. For instance, it's influencers,
Mhm.
and we need guys with a different skills, right?
Yeah, totally different one.
Say it again, please.
Totally different
Totally
one from
different.
the
Yeah,
social
right.
media, right?
Yep, and it was tough decision again. It's tough decision when you have to kind of fire or say bye bye to the good specialist, and you can't say like, and you should say honestly. That's again about the transparent. It's not about you. It's our mistake. We took an Yeah, we took the wrong person because of the wrong skills. We need another approach. That's all. So yeah, that's kind of failed. That's kind of failed. But the good approach, what we use, that it will happen. You know, the
Mm-hmm.
mistakes, fails always will happen, and even the good person could, proceed not in the best way. But fire fast. So when
Mm-hmm.
you realize that person doesn't suit you, or you need another fire fast, that will
Mm-hmm.
save a lot of money to you.
So in this marketing situation, so how long, how much time did you spend for working on social media and analyzing, the results? Because, well, you cannot expect that you will start acquiring users after 1 week or so, right? So what is the balance, you think?
Well, at that moment, I wasn't the guy who evaluated the result, so I was totally deep in that moment in the tech thing. Um, but again, it's about the. Of course, you should measure. Metric. It's your air. You should breathe with the metrics. Understand, every week, every day from any angles. But also important part of the founder, it's intuition. So you just understand, okay, we are going to the wrong way. Yeah, of course, you can't expect that, from the first 2 weeks of from social media you will get, yeah, a lot of customers. But at least you should see that, yeah, there are interesting, like there are interest, there are right target audience.
Mm-hmm.
From another business, I had a business in real estate marketing. That's, yeah, it's more simple, but from the first week you can evaluate the leads what comes, and if you see that the leads what comes and the target audience for the expensive real estate marketing is some guys who can't afford it, let's say politely, yeah, who is maybe not target audience, too young, have not target work or something, or asks, some not the stupid, but really simple and strange questions when they speak with the customer support or sailors. You see from the first week, okay, we should change the strategy or the provider of the marketing. So if you are experienced, yeah, you can evaluate from the scratch, from the like first weeks or months.
Okay. And in general, what would be your like biggest mistake, or because now it really looks like you can admit your failures, right? And it's not like you're judging them, it's just what happened, I learned from
Yeah.
it, I move forward. um, how did you learn this? I mean, is it natural or you have to adapt? Because failures are giving a lot of disappointment, right? And sometimes it could really damage the next steps. And not admitting them, you might continue doing the
Mhm.
same and not doing any change, therefore failing the whole company, right? So, what is important in order to learn to admit and take failures naturally?
Well, actually, experience is a son of hard mistakes. So that's such a statement. I mean, I just have an experience with the startups, with the new businesses, and of course, like 10 years before, when something went wrong and I did something wrong, I thought, oh God, that's my mistake. How could I? How could I? But after a year or 2 or 3, I just realized, okay, I'm making mistake. It's just a part of the process, any process. And moreover, the really important part of every person who wanna develop himself, it's connecting and speaking and seeing other successful person. And yeah, of course, luckily, of course, thanks, for instance, thanks to my co-founders, even working in Joiner, I met them. I met a lot of other really talented guys. I see that how they, think, how they act, and how smart they are. That's true. But in the same time, I see, okay, they are making mistakes as well. So
Mm-hmm.
you just in some point you just realize that's it's a part of the of your life, not even the business life. In every part of your life, you are doing mistakes, and it's you can't blame if you made a mistake. You can blame if you made repeatedly this mistake,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or you
If you
can't.
didn't learn anything
Yeah, you didn't learn
from them.
anything. You can't evaluate. That's a problem. In this case, it's not learning; it's just repeating the mistake. But if you learn, why not? You know, the life just gave you an experience. That's cool.
Okay, that's a very nice approach. And if a freshly born startup founder would come to you and he's like, so I just received this investment and I need to start hiring a team, what would be your key advice to them?
Well, my approach and my key advice always try to do everything quick.
Mm-hmm.
As I said already, if you're hiring, hire fast, fire fast.
Mm-hmm.
If you are startup, you then don't have resources, you know, to hire plenty of HRs, departments to evaluate the person and hire and make the hiring process for a half a year. Just hire by intuition in a week and fire after another month, of course, if you're if you have something in your head, right? Some experience. The same about the MVP, minimum valuable product. I mean that's the common mistake when the guy's starting to develop something and polish, trying to do perfect and invent a lot of features. No, 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 no. Determinate what is the core feature, start develop, and as soon as possible give to your potential customers. They, if the product like generally good, they will agree with the bugs. They will be loyal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, do everything quick and fast and receives any result as quick as possible.
Mm-hmm. And then to decide to continue or
For
not.
sure, for sure. Not to burn money, your time, your efforts. Yep. Not to burn out. Yeah, of course. Because if you will develop something in 2 years without the results, you will just burn out. You will just forget your initial motivation. You lose them a lot of money, and you understand, all right? So try to do it in 1 or 3 months. I would say that most of the application you can develop in a minimum stage from like 3 months, 3 4 months, and already users can use it. Yeah, with the bugs, not
Mm-hmm.
the best UX and etc. But who cares? If it works, it works.
Yeah.
Then you will upgrade it.
I would also like to add that if it's possible, if maybe if it's not B2C, with B2B, it's easier. You can even imitate the automation of the platform and do the work manually and just to get the proof for the concept, right? So go sell, even if nothing is working, pretend it is, do everything manually, see how the market is taking it and perceiving it, get the feedback, and then put your money and time and others' money in this.
You're totally right. So I'm 100% agree. It's kind of Flintstoning, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
because especially that's the biggest mistake when you have only in B2B, for instance, only one client and you put a
Mhm.
lot of money in automation. Come on, you can do half of it like with the hands, and then decide, okay, when we will expand, we will automate that. First, polish the
Yeah,
processes because automation takes a
yeah.
lot of money and a lot of developer resources.
Yeah, and it's built on processes
Yeah,
anyways, right? So
it's
so
it's really
processes should be
hard to assume
followed.
all the processes from the beginning. You know,
Hmm.
actually, we had a luck with the UX. I should admit that my co-founder Edward, he's kind of really brilliant in the design. So luckily, what he sketched from the beginning on the paper now is working. But that's a lucky star. I mean, you can't rely on that in every part. Right.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Testing,
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 testing. Yeah.
testing. Have you ever had or been in the situation that you launched your MVP into the market and unfortunately the user's feedback was negative and you had to kill the product?
Never. I would like to say. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, yeah. honestly, never. But I had another problem. I had another
Mm-hmm.
problem. Yeah. So all the products what I launched or developed or we built a business, the customers were happy and satisfied. But from the business side, I wasn't so experienced. For instance, it was one product in I can say in a prop tech that yeah the people had this pain. We made the product really convenient for them. They were satisfied, and a lot of other good stuff. But the acquisition cost, we didn't
Mm.
calculate. I haven't in mind like calculation cost. Like, hey, if it's a really good product, let's go. And it was again a B2C. And after that, I realized, okay, in a B2C, that's extremely important, the acquisition cost. Because in B2B, you can go with your own, right, with your own and attract the first customers and so on. And usually the check average for the B2B can cover everything. But when it goes,
And you can increase the price if it's
yeah,
needed, right?
uh,
But
but with
mm,
a B2C, that could be like a huge problem and deal breaker. Yeah. So after the
okay.
product was ready and etc., I realized, okay, acquisition cost is too big.
Mm-hmm. And how long did it take for you to come to this conclusion?
Well, too long. I mean, like at least half a year, maybe more.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, uh, I tried to fight. I tried to think about some possible solution for that.
Mm-hmm.
And no way, no way. That was a bad decision. So, but after that, I just realized, okay, we just should pivot to the B2B.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a huge problem in this case, but yeah. And I spent a lot of time just fighting with my own because it's, when it's your own child, your startup, you want to find excuses why want to find the solution, but in some time you just should say, okay, that's a deal breaker, bad decision, bad assumptions, it's not working out, so let's make or pivot, either the pivot or the just save the money and close everything.
Thank you, Alex, for being here today and sharing your stories. I know that it's not very easy to talk about the failures, and I appreciate you sharing them because we all learn from failures. We barely learn from any success. We celebrate it. So, thank you and have a nice day. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit subscribe on the media of your choice. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. And if you need help with your recruitment, please visit jobrely.com.